And we are here for the final potential game of the regular season. Welcome to the English Desk. My name is Ingan. Together with me is Naisu. Clash of the Titans once again. Tlph versus Falcons AP Bren. Now we all know what happened during game number 1.
Yep.
A really good comeback. And with that, I'm pretty sure Tlph is hungrier for more, for revenge. Because they had it in the bag almost. The Liquid Express was really, working for them. It was there, but the huge base defense and implosions from Ogwin happened. So right now, what do you think is going to happen for this game considering the lineups?
Looking at the lineups here, I like both of them. I'm glad even it's weird to say this, but I'm even glad to see the Phobius come through.
I thought the Eve.
That was my next thing to point out. Even the Eve. Now, Eve generally hasn't had the best time through Season 14. Neither right now is Sanji. Whoa, already, as we were talking about.
Whoa!
Ogwin, very aggressive, goes in for the first blood. He's going to get cut off, though. Tlph is going to go for the hunt. Is he going to be able to get the execute? Does get it, and Fcap already with the play early on. And as I was saying, man, even Eve, happy to see it, but generally, statistically, Eve hasn't done too well.
That was a good play there coming in from Ogwin. And a quick fun fact, Auntie Anara from the Filipino panel actually asked Ogwin if he does play the Cho. Ogwin said yeah, and after that, he's been grinding the Chos even during his stream. So right now, I'm pretty sure Ogwin is more than capable of performing those fast Way of the Dragon plays as we've seen him do before. And Falcons AP Bren off to a good start. Game number 1 was Tlph game. Down to the 14-minute, 18-minute mark. They were in control. The base of Falcons AP Bren was almost demolished. Even down to the third takedowns of Falcons AP Bren. They only had 2, but this time they're starting things off by going after JP and going for the turtle.
Glorious Pathway going to be dropped down from Sanford. Man, they deal with a whole lot just thrown in the air. Tonal Guard dropped down too. JP on the run. Sanji setting up the rear world manipulation. And look at the fancy footwork from Ogwin. Just bobbing and weaving completely fine. Now Sanford, the target here. They'll take him down. So already a kill picked up. JP on the whims, trying to get back to the turret. There's the jump in from Flap. Frontal pursuit, but he has the heal. JP's going to be fine. And now Fcap focusing on the turtle here. Tlph is around the corner. Has the retribution. Gonna get focused down a little bit further from Flap. He's the focus and just forcing Carl off the turtle, plus the kill as Flap shows the strength of this Phobius. Sanford now dropping down the Glorious Pathway into the raging sandstorm. They want to find it out once again. Tonal Guard's gonna be dropped down too, and Flap, you can't kill this guy. Still going for it, slams down on JP, looking for more on top of it all. And Fcap continues to get more.
And just like that, there are no trades for Tlph. 4 kills to none, plus a turret take. Flap TZ, compared to game number 1, has a strong start right now. He does have the Phobius, one of the most banned heroes recently. And at the same time, the thing about Tlph is, if you give Sanford a hero like, wait a minute, Super Marco goes in after Benny Cutie.
Oh, wow. Just catching him with that enhanced chains there, the increased range there too.
The best part is they forced Benny also to pop his Purify. So, Falcons AP Bren can have a good time again when it comes to the second turtle. Going back to my point, Sanford giving him a high loss. The San duos are highly mechanical players. We've seen Sanford a while ago dominate the early game during game number 1 with the Arlet. And with this high loss pick, do you think Sanford's going to be activated as much compared to game number 1?
I hope, I would hope so. I hope that he can still be activated. But yes, this is a high loss we're talking about. So when we think about activation, especially the XP lane high-lows, you're laying down a Glorious Pathway, and that's either to engage or cut off or, find some utility there, but then also you have the Revitalize. So, really part of this, everybody has to be activated in the same sense for Tlph's lineup. You're talking about the Raging Sandstorm, the Glorious Pathway, plus the Real World Manipulation. All that sets like the best box of fighting territory that you could ask for, really. And that's where then you hope that you get to the late game and Benny Cutie does what we
Benny Bomb.
The Benny Bomb before, what we coined in the earlier part of the season. And even for Tlph, if he can get a snowball going,
Wow.
There's the kick, though, but Ogwin going to disengage.
Okay. Falcons AP Bren gonna do a soft reset on this turtle. Now 5 members of both of these teams are ready to engage here. Sanford tries to survey the scene. Zoning out. Super Marco ready to engage. Here comes JP as well. Tlph goes in with an Infernal Pursuit.
Force pathway drop down from Sanford, trying to cut things off. Flap does not care. Just continues jump in with the Infernal Pursuit. There's the Blazing Duet from Super Marco. Pops off enough damage, but no one going down just yet. Sanford's still quite healthy. Already using that Revitalize to top everybody off, and now the real world manipulation drops down. Turtles are going to be secured though, and Ogwin will jump in, find the target as he finds Sanji. They pick up a kill through it all, and TLPH still looking for their own.
Now the thing is, this is what we saw during game number 1. For TLPH, it was a dominating start. And we saw in the draft index the late game potential of TLPH is superior compared to Falcons AP Bren.
Yep.
So do you think there's a high chance that we see a repeat of game number 1, but this time in favor of TLPH?
It's, you know, if you look at it that way, and there's a chance for I would say even this for the start for Fcap in this game is even faster than what we saw TLPH do, and just cleaner, like in general, the way these fights are going and everything else. So TLPH has to do a lot to be able to turn this game on its head. And even so, you know, it might be like if they get a pick off, if they get something, that might be great. But really the lineup is going to take a lot more time to, I feel like, you know, just get to that point. It's got to cook for a while, basically.
Speaking of doing things a lot, Tlph just gets a turret up top. As Super Marco also has a turret down bottom. So right now, Falcons AP Bren knows how to extend the lead macro-wise. 4.2k gold lead, and Ogwin just having the time of his life. Despite JP's aggression, he can freely zone out the members of TLPH, go look for the perfect position to go for the angle of the Way of the Dragon. And we know Ogwin, in terms of setups, he's really capable of turning things around. Or if they're in the lead, extending the lead as much as possible. Look at the goal difference. There's already... I don't want to do math, but you know that Super Marco is ahead by as much as more than 1k compared to Benny QT.
It's always the quick maths.
I'm trying to do quick math, but I don't want to make mistakes.
Well, man, at this point, Ingon, you know, you look at the lead that Fcap has, and you know it's pretty much evenly distributed for majority here. And even if, you know, JP continues to try to focus on Flap, like Flap has been amazing. A stalwart for a lot of this fighting. Ogwin. Conceal going to be used, looking for the right target. Won't be able to find it. Glorious Pathway, this is the response. Real world manipulation as well. Flap's still there. Kyle will go ahead and get the turtle.
Wow!
Carl tries to fight it out, but they're forced back once again with a Blazing Duet. There's the kick on Sanji. Taking out Carl. Going to get cut off and taken out. 2 down once again for TLPH. And it's looking even more grim at this point at the 8.5-minute mark as everything continues to get taken. Fcap not letting up at all.
Man, I just like to commend what Few did there. The Eternal Guard catch onto 3 members of TLPH aided the Super Marco Super Blazing Duet. That's why they got 3 kills. And Tlph got the turtle. And now they have a 6.4k gold lead. Made quick work onto the middle lane turret. They have minions up top. They can force a fight, specifically Tlph or Ogwin, as they try and burst down this turret up top. At TLPH, now the main question for TLPH is, can they defend? Just like how Falcons AP Bren defended their base numerous times in game number 1. Or will Falcons AP Bren's momentum just carry them on to a sweep against their most familiar foe, most familiar rival, TLPH? And looking at the items once again, you can see already Super Marco has the DHS, has the Golden Staff, a couple of gold left to get that Corrosion Scythe, really ahead of Benny QT.
I mean, just looking at the items here for TLPH, they got pretty much almost nothing, you know? I mean, yes, Benny QT's probably got the Feather of Heaven, he's got the Stormlight Scythe, but you look at across the board in comparison over here, you're completely outgunned, and even just defensively. Like, as I mentioned that, there's the Wind of Nature picked up, Dominance Ice too. You know, I think even if Carl Tlph just picked up a BOD, it's probably not going to be enough. I don't know who he's even going to be able to find. And they try to cap something out. You know, they have such a tanky front line to deal with from Fcap The gold lead has ballooned to 8,000 at this point. You just go take the Lord freely. There's nothing really TLPH can do from here.
And you restrict Tlph of his purple buff. Gonna get an uncontested Lord. Gonna extend your lead eventually. Falcons AP Brennan full control. Conceal from Ogwin. But again, the discipline from the M5 World Champions will ensue here. They're not gonna force anything. Might as well wait for the Lord and eventually pop all the Holy Shields or as much as possible get an inhibitor turret takedown. So right now, the response from TLPH, they need to execute their kits to perfection, connect as much as possible, but here comes JP.
They want to force the fight. Eternal Guard dropped in under the turret. It'll go down very quickly. So just trying to kind of force something. If TLPH will take the bait, they don't. And so Fcap for now just kind of has to wait for this Lord to approach the base.
Yeah.
Everything's available here, though, for TLPH, aside from the Purify from Benny Cutie, but no, he doesn't really need to force himself forward. He still has the Entropy as well. The wave's now pushing in here, so Fcap going to get these Holy Shields down.
Yeah, they're going to need defense patience just
There's
to activate, but look at the kick!
Going to be able to find Tlph taken out, and it's Super Marco on the backside once again. Sanford now joining the fight. Looking for Ogwin and Super Marco, going to chase him down and run him down. Could he catch up, though? I don't think he's fast enough. We'll have to deal with an Eternal Guard there to answer, and Sanford will go down, so 2 fall for TLPH. They do hold on to the base turrets, though.
Again, a huge kick from Ogwin to start things off. Super Marco, if you notice, after casting the Blazing Duet right beside Sanji, BMI's out, Sanford forcing the Glorious Pathway to try and catch him. And even before Sanford cast his first kill with a stun, he already popped his Purify. That's why he was immune. He was able to escape. Ogwin heads up play with Jeet Kune Do to try and slow down Sanford. And the Bulletproof remains unkilled with a 0.05 KDA. As Falcons AP Bren now have a 9.3k gold lead, and they were also able to take down an inhibitor up top. And looking at the items of Super Marco, already has the Corrosion Scythe, Wind of Nature. So it's going to be harder to kill him this time, Naisu.
You know, every time we get in our position for this game, and I'm always like, you know, thinking of what Hail Mary play can the team down 10,000 gold after the first Lord or before it? What can they do? You know, and when you look at the lineup that they have, there really isn't much of an answer, to be honest. Like, you know, unless it's JP going with a heroic flicker, raging sandstorm, like, that's about the best you can do. Because, I mean, you're going to see Sanford coming from a mile away. Like, he literally lays down a glowing pathway. He's not going to surprise anybody. So that's all you got. You got JP to try to force something out. But Fcap's not going to fall for that. They're not going to deal with that. And really, you're just... The best case scenario for TLPH, their Hail Mary play, is actually just to come out with a successful defense against this next Lord push.
Maybe 3, maybe 4 more defense before they activate Benny Cutie, and before Benny Cutie releases that Benny Bomb. But it is possible they can actually defend this, assuming that they don't get caught up with the kicks coming in from Ogwin, as Falcons AP Bren will easily burst another uncontested Lord. Now they're going to wait for the Lord to spawn. Ogwin, the past few minutes have been phenomenal for him. Despite, you know, TLPH highly mechanical players, he still finds a way to connect with those Way of the Dragon, even the Jeet Kune Do stuns, and TLPH now just really selling their recalls.
Maybe that's part of it. Maybe that's part of the successful defense.
Yeah, you need to flex on your teammates. Again, psychological battle, psychological warfare, and for TLPH, even if we lose this game, I think they're saying we have a better recall compared to Falcons AP Brent.
Well, let's see if they can actually defend here. There's the kick coming through.
Benny
Eternal
Bomb.
Guard dropping down. Benny trying to pop off the damage. Now Flap cut off from the team. Turret's going to go down. Enhanced Chains once again knocking up Sanford. And now all turrets out of the picture here. The base of TLPH bare. But they hold on. Everybody's still alive. They took out Flap. And they'll buy some more time.
Not the worst situation for TLPH. I mean, the worst could easily Falcons AP Brent just go for the end. But right now they were able to take down Flap TZ, able to clear out the Lord, didn't suffer any casualties. And with this, they now have the opportunity for Carl TZ to get his purple buff once again, try to go initiate a pickoff, especially now that Flap TZ hasn't respawned yet. But again, Falcons AP Brand, looking at the items, okay, Malefic Roar already for Super Marco, almost locked item for all their players. It's going to be a huge mountain to climb for Tlph to come back from this. But if we know something, Tlph can defend this still. Heart of a champion, you can never doubt it. If Falcons AP Brand were able to pull this off during game number 1, why can't we? Why can't Tlph?
That's the way to look at it, right? You look at it in the best way you can when you're the team facing against this kind of deficit, against this kind of lead. Why can't we? That's kind of what Tlph has to do. And if they want to have that moment for them, again, they have the tools they need. It's just unfortunate because they have to deal with the initiation coming out from Fcap. It's always going to be Fcap to start that fight. Tlph just kind of has to respond to it. And now that we're in the territory of, these immortalities, and you mentioned it, it's almost like item locked for the members of Fcap getting there. It gets that much more difficult to turn things in your favor, even if you have a successful defense.
At this point, these are the times we're in. I'm pretty sure the roamers are thinking, I should have gone with the Tigreal. Imagine if I had the Tigreal for JP. One implosion play can turn things around. And for Sanford, imagine if I have an Arlot that can final/flicker combination. Again, it's going to resort back to your question even before, what's the Hail Mary play for Tlph? And it looks like it is going to be just defend, defend, defend until you activate the Benny Bomb. But Falcons AP Brand, they know this. That's why they're going to go for the Lord. They're not going to, initiate without the safety of having the Lord, as Falcons AP Brand will try to burst it down. Sanford is here, though.
I think Tlph, they actually want to fight this one. Lord's going to go for the reset. Glorious Pathway was expended, so they know that Sanford doesn't have that available now. Fcap might just continue to give this a go. You still have JP up on the top side. He can rotate pretty quickly, though. Conceal going to be used. Ogwin on the chase. Who's he going to be able to connect? Carl Teasy taking a ton of damage. Wow. Just out of the picture in an instant.
Oh, okay.
And now there's the kick. Sanji in trouble, waiting on the team to help him out. Eternal Guard going to cut them off a little bit further. Benny trying to pop off the damage. He's going to work through some immortalities. Going forward with the Raging Sandstorm. They're actually able to find Oakwood, but Kyle jumps in on the backside. Sanji still up. Kyle waiting for the help from Few. Goes in, gets the kill. There's the enhanced chains. JP trying to help out, keep it together, but it's a triple for Kyle. And they'll make work with the wipeout, and Fcap with a massive lead waits for the minions to march on in before they ultimately end this game, end the series in a sweep with the victory to show them that, hey, they've got emotes too.